you know this one, the boy who flew too close to the sun. A father and a son, wings of wax and feathers, one simple rule, not too high, not too low, and a reckless boy who ignored it, climbed too high in his joy and fell. The cautionary tale, the lesson every child gets handed before they are old enough to argue. Do not overreach. Do not be arrogant. Know your place, or you will burn. That is the version they carved. A fool undone by his own pride, with a whole moral built on his corpse. But every warning has an author, and this one was written by the man who built the wings. So ask it, who taught the boy that the sky was the dangerous part? The statues lied about him. Here's the truth. Start with the father, because the story always tries to start with the boy. Daedalus was the greatest craftsman alive, and the world knew it. An inventor whose hands made the impossible look easy. But before Crete, before the wings, there was a workshop in Athens, and in it another boy, Daedalus's own nephew, Perdix, apprenticed to learn the master's trade. The boy was better. He picked up the spine of a fish, studied its teeth, and invented the saw. He invented the compass for drawing a perfect circle. A child out-inventing the master, and Daedalus could not bear it. So he took the boy to the highest point of the Acropolis, and he threw him from it. Murder out of pure jealousy of a gift. That is the man the marble forgets. Exiled for the killing, Daedalus fled to Crete, to the court of King Minos, and there he built the thing his name should be remembered for. When the queen bore a monstrous son, the Minotaur, half bull and half child, and Minos needed the shame hidden, it was Daedalus who built the cage, the Labyrinth, a maze so perfect that no soul who entered it could ever find the way out. Engineered so cleverly, its own architect barely escaped alive. He built the prison that swallowed sacrifice after sacrifice, children shipped in to be lost in the dark. He was very, very good at cages. Remember that, when they tell you he built his son a pair of wings out of love. Then Minos turned on him. Daedalus had whispered the labyrinth's secret to those who wanted the monster dead. So the king locked the architect inside his own invention, him and his young son Icarus both, trapped on an island with every ship watched and every harbor sealed. And here is where the legend wants you to feel the tenderness. The devoted father, desperate to free his boy, crafting wings from feathers and wax so the two of them can rise to freedom. But look at what is actually happening. Icarus was a prisoner because of who his father was. The boy had built nothing, betrayed no one, murdered no cousin. He sat in that cage for his father's crimes, his father's bargains, his father's genius sold to a tyrant and then turned against him. Daedalus did not build the wings to hand his son the sky. He built them to undo a trap that his own whole life had helped to make. And when he strapped an untested machine to a child's shoulders, pointed him out over the widest water in the world, and told him the sun was the thing to fear, he called the boy's death, when it came, a lesson. What is a warning worth? From the man who built the danger. Here is the truth, the marble buried. Everyone remembers the rule. Do not fly too high. Almost no one remembers the other half of it. The half Daedalus said in the very same breath, do not fly too low either, or the sea's damp will clog the feathers and drag you down. Sit with what that means. The boy was given a corridor of safe air, the exact width of a father's guess. Wax wings threaded between the spray that would drown him and the heat that would melt him, and sent out over open ocean on the first flight either of them had ever taken. There was no practice. There was no second set of wings. There was no way on earth to test how wax holds against a sun that no one had ever flown toward. When Icarus climbed, and every child climbs, that is what joy does to a body that has been caged its whole short life. The wax went soft, the feathers let go one by one, and he fell. He fell for a long time. He cried out for his father, and the name was torn away by the wind, and he went into the sea and under it, and the water closed over a boy who was guilty of nothing but wanting to be higher than his cage. And Daedalus flew on. He did not turn. He did not dive. He flew to Sicily, and he landed, and he lived. He gathered what washed ashore and buried it, and he named the whole sea after the boy, the Icarian Sea, as though a name laid on the water were the same thing as a son. And then the greatest craftsman in the world told the story. He decided what the moral was. He made his dead child the warning, and himself the blameless, grieving father. The survivor carved the lesson, and the lesson was never once about him. And what did the survivor do with the rest of his life? He kept building. Minos hunted him across the world for slipping the cage, and Daedalus, hidden in Sicily, did what he always did. He made himself indispensable to the next king. When Minos tracked him down at last and demanded he be handed over, the craftsman's hosts drew the tyrant a warm bath, and through a pipe Daedalus had fitted into the ceiling. Minos never rose from it. One more machine, one more death engineered by those brilliant hands. He outlived the king who caged him. He outlived the nephew he murdered. He outlived the son he strapped into wax and aimed at the sun. The one man responsible for every cage in this story walked free of all of them. And the only name the centuries chose to sharpen into a warning was the one belonging to the boy who never got to speak for himself. We took a child's fall and made it his fault. We looked at a small body in the water and we said, he should have listened. And we never once turned to the man still flying and asked what he had built and why, and who kept paying the bill for it. So, who taught the boy that the sky was the dangerous part? The man who had spent his entire life proving the danger was always down on the ground, in the workshop, in the cage, in the hands that built them. Icarus did not fall because he was arrogant. He fell because he was born to a genius who caged the world and called the cage love. The lie is ours, the one we carved when we made a warning out of a child and let the architect grieve his way clean out of the story. So the next time someone hands you a cautionary tale with a dead boy at its center, ask who built the wings, and ask who taught him what to be afraid of. Next time, a hero with a sword and a ball of red thread, a girl who saved him and woke alone on an empty shore, and a father on a cliff watching the sea for a sail that never turned white. The statues lied. They always have.